Charleston Hope is strong with the leadership of Emily Hoisington. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sit down with Emily one-on-one. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores.
Well, Emily.
Hello.
It is so good to meet you, actually.
You too.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
And this is home for you.
It is. It was weird walking up the stairs and having all these memories coming back. But
To the college of Charleston.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Talk to me about the other memories that you have here when you were a student.
Yeah, so I was really involved here at the college. I came in 2012. I was a South Carolina teaching fellow, so I was in the teaching fellows cohort, which was great. I don't know, I guess I just really got involved, jumped in. I got involved in student government several times. I had some really good and some really tough and bad experiences at the college, but really just my 4 years here definitely shaped who I am now and really what I'm doing now. And so it was a great 4 years, but
yes, indeed.
Some tough stuff in there.
Oh, bad. Emily Hoisington,
Yes.
Executive Director at Charleston Hope. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you went here to the College of Charleston. Write the headline. Emily Hoisington is what these days?
Well, that's a loaded question. Yeah, so I am the founder and executive director of Charleston Hope, and that was really started at my time at the College of Charleston. The program, Adopt a Classroom, started when I was a senior in high school, but really planted our roots here at the college. I was a freshman and wanted to do the outreach, which was just gift giving to Title I students. Wanted to do it again, and being a little fish in a big pond here at the college, wasn't really sure what that looked like. So really kind of just wrote my thoughts down on a Excel or a Word document and sent it out to all of the clubs and organizations, sororities, fraternities here. And that's the basis of Charleston Hope and how we got started. And we founded that because there just was so much support, which I think when there's so much support, it shows how much of a need there really is. And so with seeing the needs that were in our Title I schools just around the corner from the college, I had the heart to want college students to enjoy their college experience, but also to love their city and love their community that they're in and that they're living in, whether it's just 4 years or they've been here their whole life. And so when I graduated in 2016 with an early childhood education degree, stepped into Charleston Hope full-time 2 months after I graduated. So stepped in as the full-time executive director and have really been on that journey for about a year and a half.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What does Charleston Hope means to you?
A lot. Yeah, Charleston Hope is, like I said, I went through some really tough stuff in college, and Charleston Hope was always this basis of really this purpose that I felt of. I knew that Charleston Hope was what I was supposed to do. And I had such a heart for these students and for these teachers. And I mean, I grew up wanting to be a teacher. So it really kind of ties in what I always wanted to be, but getting to serve and empower the person that I always wanted to be has made me into who I am, if that makes sense.
It's absolutely.
So it's been my past 6 years. It's not my identity, it's not who I am, but it makes up so much of that, and I just get to meet so many new people, so many new individuals who have brought so much more perspective, have broadened my horizons, have just opened my eyes to so much, and so it's really shaped me. But it just means, it really means hope. Just because of things that I went through, I got to hold on to something, and that was Charleston Hope. I knew that I was going to do this, so no matter what came my way, I wasn't going to stop. I wasn't going to give up. And so Charleston Hope has a lot of different avenues of what it means to me, but ultimately I think no coincidence that the word hope is in the name, because I think that is truly what it does mean to me.
And I have to stop here for just a second, because you talked about being involved with the Student Government Association, and there's a lot of talk about this current issue right now. You mentioned it on Facebook just recently. You said this quote: "Pause your political stance. Pause your dots on gun control. Pause your arguments and pause your debates. Simply pause. Read. Let it be uncomfortable. Let it bring tears to your eyes. Remember.
Yeah.
So when you pause, what do you think about this situation that just happened in Florida?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my first thought is to pause. It doesn't mean stop your debates. It doesn't mean, that word pause is very intentionally put. It does not mean stop sharing your voice or your thoughts on things that need to be changed or that may not need to be changed. But I think in our culture we get so caught up on how we want action to be taken or how we want to see change that in this instance, really just I don't want to see us forget the victim and the pain and the hurt that is associated with such a tragic, senseless crime. And just, I don't want us to be so overwhelmed and so passionate about the change that we forget. And that piece of pausing to bring tears to your eyes and to read it. I mean, when I opened it and read it, my immediate thoughts were like, something has to be done. We have to do something. And then my thoughts were, I'm in a school. How do I protect my kids? All of that. But then I just remembered 17 people lost their lives. 17 futures have been stopped and they don't get to continue. And that's the tragedy right there. And so for me, pausing to remember that and letting that stir up the action that you want to take, letting those feelings and those emotions of this isn't okay, something is wrong, letting those emotions really just move you to take the action that you see fit, whether that's talking to your kids, maybe opening up that conversation in your home, or teachers preparing better or learning better on situations like this, or maybe it is calling your senator or whoever, whatever action that you see fit. But I think taking a moment to pause and to remember first and foremost of the reason why you're taking that action is so important. So like I said, I didn't say stop,
Right.
I just said pause. And that was intentionally put just to remember first, and then with that remembrance, take the action that you see fit for you.
Where do you hope this discussion goes next?
In light of the situation, I hope that our schools speak out about it. I think that's a really great step of action of getting with our schools. What does happen? We had a situation at Mitchell Elementary last year, and by the grace of God, it was a scare, but for an hour while we were in classrooms hiding with children, we didn't know it wasn't real. And so I think in those moments, I think it's just a natural panic of what is going on, what is happening. So even just shedding light on the situation, because we really honestly, probably most of us think like that will never happen to us, but I think a great step is to talk to our teachers and say, like, this is what happens, and our school districts have done a great job. We've been getting emails of these are steps that we've taken, these are things that we've done. And so not just maybe sending the email, but getting teachers and giving them a space to share their thoughts or their opinions on the situation, maybe changes that they want to see in their schools. I think it's really a great step to take, certainly not the only step, but that is probably the step that I am most passionate, because I am in a school. I do work with teachers so closely, so just to make sure that they're prepared, and so they can, lead their students in a situation like that is so important, rather than it being, just, you're never fully prepared for any type of tragedy, but just to be aware of things that can happen or things that you can do in certain instances.
And let me go back to Charleston Hope, because obviously you guys were featured on Fox 24 recently, and the headline from Fox 24, FoxCharleston.com says this: how a local organization is empowering hope in younger generations. What is the state of hope right now in your mind when you think of the younger generations and the kids right now?
Yeah, I think in light of what is going on in our world everywhere, there's news articles flashing up, popping on the screens, and I think we think that our students are hidden, or our children are hidden from that, but they're not. I firmly don't believe that, and so I think that state of hope is, I like to see it as just this, our children have this innocence, and some of this innocence, they deserve and have the right for it to be protected for a period of time while they're children. And that hope I see is, I can picture several of our kids and them just wanting to maintain that innocence.
Sure.
And so I just see that hope too of a lot of, at least the students that we work with and children everywhere, they get put in these boxes.
Okay.
And they're so young. We should be teaching them all that the world has to offer, all of the opportunities. And unfortunately, the students that we work with, there is a massive gap in the opportunities that our students are not exposed to. And so I just see hope. I just see their little eyes just wanting more, just wanting to see and really just to create their own path. They get to decide who they want to be, and they get to decide what career they want to take. Nobody gets to tell them or define that for them.
Okay.
And so we get to do that with Charleston Hope and really just empower them and really take their strengths with our teachers and our students. Because our teachers have hopes as well. They have dreams.
Sure.
They have things that they want to succeed in their classroom and outside. And so that piece too of never putting teachers or our children in boxes of saying this is how far you'll go or this is what you will do, but just truly believing and seeing that hope that they don't know what it looks like, but they're going to believe that they can do it. And they're going to take the steps. And really, honestly, it may not be the most beautiful answer, but teaching them with hope comes taking it as it comes and using your hope just to keep pushing you forward through any situation or adversity or obstacle that you might face to get to your dream or your goal.
You talk about pushing forward. What's next for you?
Well, other than getting married in 26 days.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we have some really great steps with Charleston Hope. We actually are getting to hire our first part-time employee with Charleston Hope. And we have an AmeriCorps Vista with us. So that's going to be 3 staff members with Charleston Hope. And so for me personally, it's going to look a lot of, we are really structuring Charleston Hope, and who we're bringing on is going to be working we've narrowed down what we do. So we've said no to certain things so we could say yes to some really key things. And so this girl that is being brought on in our AmeriCorps Vista, Kendall, they are working on our classroom mentor program that really works with giving teachers the voice and the autonomy in the classroom. And our volunteers and classroom mentors come in to provide academic support based on what the teacher sees fit for those students. So we're not developing a curriculum.
Sure.
We want teachers, they know their students the best. They're with them 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
We don't know that, we don't know what they need exactly. And so we're focusing on that. And so I'll be stepping into more of, I like to say, it truly is the ED role. So I'll be stepping into more of the fundraising and just working with donors and partnering with other businesses and organizations. I've been really head down in the programs to get them built and to really head down into what our schools need. So now that we have a strong grasp on what that is, somebody's got to do the fundraising in order for us to function. So I'll be stepping into that role, which is scary. It's very new. But I'm really excited.
That's good to hear. When you take off your community service and educational hat, who is Emily Hoisington?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say first and foremost, I love the Lord, and that's really the top identity, the top hat that I get to wear, just to love Him and follow after Him and follow the calling that He's given me in my life. And with that calling, that is a new adventure, and that's going to come being the wife to Andrew, and he's actually the worship pastor at the church that I go to. And so I'm going to get to go alongside him and really run on mission with what he's doing at the church. And so it's going to be really great to see our two missions combine. So I'm really excited about that. And, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, I'm going to be a small group leader. So a lot of different things that I get to be, which are really exciting, and a lot of new things to come, just in a really transition season. But I'm excited to see what the Lord's going to do and what I get to do. So,
I have a favorite scripture. It's Psalms 37. What is the scripture that you're looking at these days?
Yeah, so my favorite scripture, and I look at it all the time, it's in Genesis, and it talks about how the Lord will never leave you. He will never forsake you.
Sure.
And my favorite line is that he says, I will not leave you, I will not forsake you. I will do what I have promised you. And that has rung true in my life and has been I've been able to hold on to that belief when I felt, like, where's the Lord? What are his promises? How is he going to fulfill this promise? And just holding on to that verse of whatever the Lord has promised me, he says he is going to fulfill it, and he's not going anywhere until he does. And so I always, honestly, I read that verse every single day, because there's always a promise throughout the day that I feel like it's so easy to question, whether it's a little task and how it's going to get done, to, in my world, raising $200,000, or being the best wife, or whatever that looks like. And I know that the Lord has equipped me, because he has promised that he has equipped me. And so I'm going to keep walking in the steps and the path that he's laid out. And I just know he's going to do what he's promised me.
That is amazing. So happy to hear. Emily Hoisington, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank
Likewise.
you.
Yes.